Traditional student or a mature student, there's quite a few important things that you need to start considering. Understanding these things will really help you tailor your application. Get your notepads, get your pen, because you don't know which of your friends want to study medicine. You don't know. They might not have told you yet. So you've decided you want to study medicine and you want to be a doctor. Congratulations. But what now? Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, the Princess Medic Diaries. My name is Princess and I'm a first year medical student studying in the UK. And today I want to talk a little bit about what happens after you make that all important decision that you want to study medicine. Um, I want to start by saying congratulations and well done on making such a huge decision, because not only have you decided that you want to go back into higher education or go into higher education for the first time, you're also making a really big decision about your future career. And that's, of course, not one to be taken lightly. That's a big step in itself. So well done. And whether you're a traditional student or a mature student, there's quite a few important things that you need to start considering to make sure that you put yourself on the right path. You might ask, what is a traditional student? So these are the more conventional students who will go into medical school straight after completing their A levels. And I'll also include students that have taken a gap year into this category as well. And a mature student is one that's over the age of 21. You might be someone that's got a degree and so would like to study medicine postgraduate, or you might just have had a complete career change idea and have now decided you want to be a doctor. Either way, the most important thing to start thinking about at this stage is research, 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 research. And I'm going to talk you through what that looks like, what that research means, what you need to actually be looking at. There's a lot to say. So, get your notepads, get your pen, and let's dive right in. So, firstly, let's talk about traditional students. You're likely still in school. You probably picked your A levels based on the fact that you want to study medicine, or you might even be way before this and still thinking about the fact that you want to study medicine, but haven't picked your A levels just yet and want to make the right decisions. Wherever you fall in this process, the most important thing to start looking at now is researching your options. Have a look at the different medical schools in the UK if that is where you want to study, and just get a good idea of their entry requirements and how things are taught there. They vary quite a bit from medical school to medical school. So it's really important to have an idea of where you stand. Understanding these things will really help you tailor your application. So, for example, quite a few medical schools ask for chemistry as a mandatory A level. Maybe you then decide to take on chemistry as an A level to put you in a position to go to medical school that you've already fallen in love with. The next important thing is, of course, the entrance exams. An entrance exam is mandatory for medical schools in the UK. A really common one is the UCAT. I think at this stage, it's really important just to get an idea of this exam. What is the format? What's the length? How much study is required? Do your research. And this could be even in the form of YouTube videos. You could watch, videos from different medical students or even now doctors talking about their experiences with the UCAT, read blogs, speak to people, find out what, the preparation they did, and just get an idea of what is going to be required of you so that you can start at the right time and be in the best position. Now, the final thing I'm going to say for traditional students, and in my opinion, is one of the most important things is to gain experience. Now, not only is that an entry requirement for most universities, but it's also really important for you. So, to the university, it gives them a confidence in you because they have an idea that, okay, you kind of know what you're getting yourself into. And it also gives you that confidence that you know what you're getting yourself into and that you're making the right decision for yourself. I mean, making the decision to study medicine and to be a doctor at 18, and you might have even decided before that, is a really big thing to do. And I think it's really important to gain some sort of experience to ensure that you actually know what a career as a doctor looks like. This might look like gaining work experience in the hospital, seeing what the day to day actually looks like for a doctor, and also volunteering to put you in the best position for your med school application. Now, let's move on to mature students. So, as a mature graduate medical student myself, I have a good idea of quite a few of the specific steps that you need to start taking at this stage to be in the best position. So, whether you're a graduate or you're having a career change or just returning later in life to study medicine, all these tips are for you. The first really important thing to do is take stock of your qualifications. What do I mean by that? So that means finding out what qualifications do you currently hold. So do you have a degree? Do you have a diploma? Have you taken an access course? Do you have A levels? What were your GCSEs? I know, I know, it might be really far back. I mean, I come from the time when there were no numbers. And so it was a while ago. And it might even be a bit of a painful experience to look back and see how you did if it wasn't so good. But I promise you, this is a really, really vital step as it gives you an idea of where you actually stand with these universities and where it's worth applying. The next thing I want you to start thinking about is, again, entrance exams. So this can differ a little bit for mature students, especially if you are a graduate. So there is, of course, the UCAT, but there's also the GAMSAT, which is the graduate entry exam that some universities do take. So you need to start thinking about, do you want to do the UCAT? Do you want to do the GAMSAT? Or do you want to do both? And the reason I've asked you to start considering this second is because the entrance exam you choose will play a really, really big part in what course you do and what universities you study at. The GAMSAT, as I also like to call it, the trauma exam, is strictly for graduates. So if you're not a graduate, then you can't take this exam. UCAT is something you can consider. And it's just really important to get an idea of the format of these exams, the time required to go into these exams, because again, they differ quite a lot in terms of their length and their structure and their format and how they're testing you. Um, so research at this stage is really, really vital, because if you find out which exam suits you best, again, you can put yourself in the best position and save yourself time and effort in the long run. The next thing to start thinking about is which course you'd like to do, the graduate entry course or the undergraduate course. I'll briefly speak about how these courses differ. The graduate entry course is a 4-year course strictly for graduates, and it tends to be a smaller cohort of students. The undergraduate is the 5-year course, which the traditional students also enter. So universities will have a certain number of mature students that they will take on that 5-year course. And so you might not want to study for 5 years. You might want to study for 4. This is another thing to consider: course length, what works best for you in terms of funding. These things differ. The courses differ quite a bit. And so research here is really, really important just to find out what makes sense for you, what works for you. You might want to think about how long you've been out of education. It might be better for you to do the 5-year course because it's a longer course and therefore you'll be learning for longer. It's all about what works for you, but essentially it's just really important to start thinking about these things now. And so the next thing, which follows on quite closely to this, that you need to think about is location. And I don't want you to think about where you want to study, but I want you to think about where you don't want to study. And the reason I say that is because this list is likely to be much shorter, so you can save yourself the time. Once you get a list of the places you definitely don't want to study at, it might be that these places are too far and you don't want to be too far from family, or it might mean you really do want to get away from family. It might mean that you have certain responsibilities that you can't move away from. And so if these are places you definitely, definitely cannot move to, don't want to live in, it's a good idea to just get them out of the way now. So at this stage, you should have quite a good list now of places where you would like to study and that you know you actually have a chance of getting into. And I will say at this point as well, in terms of your qualifications that you hold, it's not the be all and end all if you don't have the ones listed, because there's always an opportunity to take on A levels at this stage, access courses. Universities do have slightly different requirements when it comes to mature students. They may take course equivalents that you consider taking on. So don't worry at this stage. It's just about getting an idea of what you have. So now you have your list of places that you want to study at and are likely to take you. So you're in a really good position in terms of your research. The next thing I want you to start thinking about is work experience. So as a mature student, you're already at a bit of an advantage at this stage because you've likely done some sort of work in the time between when you were last in education and now. And universities aren't only looking for healthcare experience. They want to know that you understand the world of work. It's also really important to find out what it means to be a doctor, but they also want to understand you. First of all, work experience in a hospital is one of the hardest things to get, if I do say so myself. But not only that, that is not the only way to see if someone would be a good doctor. And universities are interested in finding out what you've done with your time. And it's not too late to pick up more things, but I guarantee you, you will have lots to talk about in this area. So now you've completed all your research that you need to do, and you've got a beautiful list of universities that you can now think about applying to. The final thing I want you to consider, and this applies to whether you're a traditional student or a mature student, is your why. Why do you want to study medicine? And why do you want to become a doctor? And I know it's really cliche, but it's a really important question. Not only is this something that you'll likely be asked in interview, top tip, but also It's really helpful for yourself. Knowing your why is what will propel you through this application process, which can be somewhat grueling. It will help you deal with things like rejection, which may be on your path. And when you do get into medical school, it will help you get through that process. You need a reason to push through the madness. So whether you're a traditional student or a mature student, as you can see, there are loads of things to start thinking about to put you in the best position to get into medical school. It's all about planning, preparation, and just considering what your goals and motivations genuinely are. I hope this has been helpful. I genuinely hope that, you can take these points on board and apply them. If you still have any questions, feel free to drop a comment below. I'll get back to you, or you can contact me on any of the details that I'll list below in the description box as well. But yeah, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you share. Yeah, share this, because you don't know which of your friends want to study medicine. You don't know. They might not have told you yet. So share it. Yeah, thank you. Bye, guys.